Greetings and salutations. Hey, we're back at 3 episodes of Quantum Leap. In this case, Maybe Baby, Sea Bride, and M.I.A. One of these episodes is going to be an emotional one for me, so, just letting you know. Let's talk about the episode Maybe Baby. This episode, Sam leaps into a man named Buster while he's in the middle of a kidnapping, and he and a stripper named Bunny kidnap baby Christy to take her to safety in New Mexico. They make their way across Texas while the authorities are in pursuit, but can Sam trust her? And I'm thinking this is the first episode in which, I think in the previous episodes, yes, there's always been episodes in which, Sam leaps into a person who is running from the law and all that, but I think this is the first time where he's been, a character who's almost who is a bouncer and all that. And yeah, I gotta say, there are moments in this, where you feel saying, wait, Sam has, a degree in a lot of things, quantum physics and things, but yet he is not able to, change a diaper and all that. Yeah, basically, say some of the humor of this episode is, 3 men and a baby, in a way, but then, it's Sam, and at times, Al shows up, and I kind of like the ideas for this one with Al, and the fact that, he seems he's, does, a fox, a sock puppet, and, tries to, not make Christy cry and all that. One of the crux of this episode is in that, they take the baby, Christy, but her father is actually, they try to say, oh, he's a bad guy. He's actually a con man, and the original timeline of both Bunny and Buster were all, arrested and, taken to jail for 20 years. And what ends up happening is, the mother of baby Christy, she is, in New Mexico. So they end up trying to make the journey to that, where Bunny ends up starting to have a bit of, a motherly relationship with the child because she's not able to do that. And it makes me think, after the sleep, maybe Buster and Bunny have a bit of a relationship, and she's eventually able to have her own. Could be a storyline that would eventually continue in the novels. Let's look at the episode Sea Bride. When Sam leaps into Philip Dumont on board the ocean liner, the Queen Mary. Philip's ex-wife, Catherine, is on board in a wedding dress, and her father has convinced her that Philip is dead. Sam has to stop Catherine's marriage to Vincent Lugoyo, a felon who is also known as Vinny the Viper. If she goes through the wedding, it could also be fatal to both Philip and Catherine. Fortunately, Sam has the help of Catherine's kid sister, Jennifer. There are some things that make me think, makes me think, this episode does not really age well, unless the character of Jennifer, she sees, the character of, Jennifer, she sees, Philip as almost, a fatherly kind of role, or almost, in a way.
Nope.
In a way. So maybe she's hey, you're almost a second dad kind of relationship,
Nope.
Because, she's trying to say, hey, this is what my sister likes, and all that. And I kind of there are references to, say, things The Godfather and all that, because the character of Vincent, he is a mob boss, he's an Italian mob boss, and all that. The one being a moments of, okay, Jennifer is, and Catherine are just, they're arguing, say, Philip still loves you, and he's like, he does? Yeah, go meet him, and all that. And eventually, when things end up happening, Sam ends up getting thrown into a garbage disposal, which could, get thrown into the ocean and all that. And one thing I kind of like about this episode is in that, it talks about some what originally would have happened in the leap and all that. And yeah, I think that's a really great idea, right idea. And I can say, okay, we need to change this for both Catherine and as well as for Philip as well. And there's a sequence there where say, the say this now or ever for hold your peace and all that. And what did you know it? Sam goes say, yeah, I disagree and all that. And then eventually they get into Philip, Sam, and Vinny. They go into a bit of fisticuffs, but eventually he gets knocked out because of the dad too helping him. Sci-Fi this one wasn't too bad. It was a fairly fun one. Yeah, I didn't think it was too bad. I kind of like the fact the story of it takes place on a boat.
I'll kill him. Give me a gun.
I can't give you a gun, especially here.
I'm gonna kill him.
So that's quite different. Now let's look at the episode M.I.A. And if you need to know, M.I.A. means missing in action. So in this episode, Sam leaps into police detective Jake Rollins, played by Doug Brower, and is said to save a woman from marrying another man while her husband is M.I.A. But as life goes on, he becomes less and less sure if that's the reason he is here. Oh my gosh. If you're looking for a really perfect episode and we understand the full amount of future that would happen in the show, and as well as a full guideline on the character of Val. Because there's always the idea of hey, you can't get involved in your own timeline and all that, because the mandate is gone missing, because we later discover that the character that has gone missing in the episode for the character, for the woman. In this case, it's Beth Calavinci, Al's wife. And yeah, we get some big moments when Al is talking about how he was a POW and all that. And you really feel for Al in this episode because you're wanting him to succeed. You're wanting him to have that sense of that hug, that dance with her, and at the same time, for Sam is saying, wait, why are we doing this, Al? And then the moment in which I think there's two great moments in which Sam ends up saving his detective partner, and he's his partner had been also in the military and served, so he ends up having a moment of PTSD. I kind of like that the idea of this, so a soldier, and at the same time a bit of regret and all that. But the sequence in which Al is trying to dance with Beth.
Georgia on my mind. Georgia on my mind. I said, Georgia, Georgia, a song of you.
And all that, and eventually Sam also leaps because the whole point of it was that Bev needed to continue on anyway.
Keeps Georgia on my mind. Georgia on my mind. 'Cause the arms reach out to me.
To wait for her. Instead of, just like going and saying, well, I guess I'll talk to this guy now. Anyway, because so Alan, in a way, was right that his, thing for him was he needed to, come to the grips and say, I miss you. So Watson was really good. I apologize for getting a bit emotional. So, yeah, but then again, I guess I'm not being that lumbering robot because I know, like, a lot of people have been telling me, like, say, I talk too robotic and all that. So, yeah. I'll see you next time.